Hey there, Danielle Varanda making another video in my pajamas this time. How does it get better than that? Hey, I have another tool that I'd like to share with everyone. One that I could probably use a lot more than I have been doing. But every time I do use it, it just creates a lot more space for me, a lot more allowance. And it seemed like a really great tool to share with everyone, especially this time of year. um, so I'm recording this during the holiday season, and a lot of us are spending time with family, friends, and not to mention all the other things that have been going on in the world lately. And there's been a lot of strife, lots and lots of points of views out there, and point of view are just actually judgments. And we always think of judgments as being negative, but they can also be judgments can be a positive judgment. But in any case, both of them create limitations not only in our lives but in the world around us. And one of the things I heard some time back in one of the Access Consciousness classes I took um, was, you know, what is the most toxic substance on earth? And the response was judgment. Not only judgment of ourselves, um, but judgments of others, judgments of what's going on in the world, the way things should be, the way they shouldn't be. And that was pretty mind blowing for me. Like, I was like, wow, so that is actually what is killing the earth, as well as the destruction of our bodies. And anywhere we have a point of view, we actually create more of that point of view, that reality showing up in our lives and in the world. So, what if we just found everything to be an interesting point of view? So, that's actually what the tool is called, that everything is just an interesting point of view, also known as IPOV. um, so, the way you can use this tool is if somebody says something to you, you can usually you say it to yourself. It's not always done out loud, but you would go, wow, interesting point of view. And not necessarily have that charge on it of interesting point of view. You can just like, interesting point of view. And then if you find yourself starting to respond to it in a defense or resisting and reacting, or where you're aligning and agreeing with something, you can go, interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Or everywhere that we're trying to make ourselves right to ourselves and to others. Again, you can go, interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Now, oftentimes you want to run that more than once because there's usually kind of many layers on it. And um, the the other version of that is interesting point of view that they have that point of view. And then, of course, it can be on both sides. So you can go, interesting point of view that I have that point of view, that they have that point of view. And it actually, like, just even saying that makes me smile, because then you're just like stepping out of the what you end up creating if you resist and react or align and agree. You actually create a polarity. And there isn't a lot of other possibilities then that can show up and shift and change. And you may not know what could change for something to change. And of course, with everything, the more fun you have with it, the more that can shift and change things. So, if it's helpful, you can actually do it with like, you're not doing it with really so much of having a point of view as you can just be like interesting point of view that they have that point of view and interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Like, and just, you can throw in some attitude with it if you makes it more fun. And it's amazing even how that can actually shift and change it even faster. So, not that it's limited to the holiday season or limited with family or friends or anything. It can be used um, all the time. And one of the reasons I make these videos and share it with others and facilitate is I get to facilitate myself. It's like, oh yeah, when I think of it with someone else, it's like, oh yeah, I haven't used that lately, or I haven't used it enough, or I could use it more. Um, so, and what if that actually not only changed your life and created a lot more ease, but it actually would change um, and create more possibilities in the world? And this time of year, there's that concept of having peace on earth. Well, what is that, and how would we even create that? I mean, it's like kind of wishful thinking or hope. Um, and in using this, what if we could actually create more of that showing up instead of the judgment, which is prevalent in this world, that is actually the destruction of any possibility of peace. So that is my um, gift, that if you choose to play with it, choose to use it, I'd love to hear back what happens, what shows up when you do use it, as well as, um, oh my gosh, what was I going to say? That, well, maybe that's as long as this video should be. It's after midnight here, so I think I'm getting a little sleepy. Um, the other thing I wanted to share is, if you have the opportunity to take a bars class or have your bars run or take a body process class, um, the gift that is to you and your body, as well as in the world, and what that can create, and the amount of receiving that takes place in your body and therefore gets reflected out in the world. So, something to check out if that pops for your body. And there is some incredible body classes coming up, and they're going on all over the world. So, what if that actually could create the peace on earth that we've been asking for, and has as is actually in the process of showing up? And what contribution can you be in the world by choosing that? Talk to you later.